I feel like a lot of men walk around completely clueless as to how unattractive they really are. And I feel like this theory is proven by the amount of horrible profile pictures and dating site pictures that men just throw up on their profile pages and think that that's enough to attract somebody. Like they just be on here talking crazy. You know, you can't be fat. I gotta be short. Gotta be thick. Gotta be this. Can't have this. Can't have this. And whole time you got a Michelin, you got a jumbo truck tire around your midsection, and you talking shit. You got so much acne on your face, sir. You look like you have not washed your face in 2 years, and you really feel like men do not realize how unattractive they are. To be fair, where they live at, to the people that they are used to dealing with on a day-to-day basis, they may be attractive. They may be attracted to someone. I don't think they really realize that you're not attractive. So it's crazy when I see these same men online bashing and talking about women as if they are something to look at. Like, have you seen, like, do you genuinely think that you are attractive? Do you genuinely think that you look good compared to all of these people out? If you think that if you lined up 10 men and put them all in front of me, that you would be the one that I would pick, you would be my top choice? You think you would even be in my top five? But see, that's why I am a fan of shaming men. I don't go out of my way, but if you come around here with that nonsense, I'm going to that page and I'm pulling out every flaw. I'm putting it right in your face. Really.
We know exactly where this is going, right? When the men typically, they're not supposed to be the more attractive of the species, and never were, right? But when we now the tables have sort of the pendulum swung back, where it not only do you have to be a provider or be meet the laundry list of things, you also have to be attractive. And I get it. You don't want to be with someone that you physically aren't attracted to, right? But now it's popular to say these things about men, because we're in this era of, sort of a misandry and degrading men into, I, I don't know, to what is the goal and to what end. Um, we already have trouble being desirous of one another. This is one of those things that men see, they hear, and they say, "All right, I'm not it, right? There's no reason for us to interact. So I'm just gonna go about my way, go about my business." And then we get curious and we ask why the men aren't showing up. But like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. If you hear my voice, you see my photo, my video for the first time in a couple of days, yet you're subscribed, then it's a notifications. It's YouTube does what it wants. But I've seen a lot more videos of women saying that, I mean, we saw with the Chop Man epidemic video, where women are saying that, you know, attractive men are, there's not really attractive men out there. And we know attractiveness, or we call it subjective, but when we're having real conversations, we can understand that there is a standard, there is a hierarchy, there is what one person might believe is attractive to them, but we're talking about the whole. As a whole, this is the archetype that people tend to be attracted to. You see that across surveys, across time. It's something that is sort of globally understood and known. You look at what the what corporations put forward, the faces they put forward before we had the pushback for, um, you know, beautiful at every size. There was an archetype that was used to that most people agreed was attractive. So now, with women saying, okay, she has no problem shaming men that believe they're attractive, saying, but here's what it is. My my pushback on this, and again, we not really trying to come at anyone saying that this is what they prefer, this is what they want. That's fine. If we want to look at it on a whole and say women are more attractive than men, then there's nothing we can do about that. It's a genetic phenotypic thing that this is what it's going to be. Until we have a culture that prioritizes more of men's looks and says this is what men should have, this should be the beauty standard for men. Men should be this attractive. Use these things, undergo these surgeries to make you more attractive to females. But when men do that, when men engage in the smallest amounts of skincare, of showing interest in Botox or procedures, then you call them sassy, then you call them gay, then you shame them down this way. Then you have content saying, "I don't want to be with a man that's as attractive or more attractive than me." So which is it? Hey, men are just like, which is it? Do you want me to be a masculine man, or do you want me to embrace more of the metrosexual side of things, or do you want me to embrace more of my femininity? Do you want me using makeup? Because now, just to be real, a lot of women's attractiveness is enhanced by heavy applications of makeup. Now, we see plenty of videos of the before and after, and it really looks like two different people, to the point that you have those one-off stories sometimes from other countries of a man flipping out on his wedding day because when the makeup comes off, he's like, "This isn't who you are." Right? You become so used to the glamorized version of a person that who they actually look like is completely different. But the main point of this video is to we all here understand what it would be like if a man said the things she's saying. I'm going to shame women who believe they are attractive because where do they get the audacity coming to me as a moderately attractive man and you're not in shape, you're not tall, you're not you don't have the figure, you don't have the waist, you don't have the we know exactly where that goes, right? We know exactly where that content, where that type of content, where that type of rhetoric goes. It's labeled as misogynistic, and your channel, your page, your voice will be, shadow banned, will be minimized because when men speak like that about women, then we have the whole list of things used to shame them to say that they're being vapid, they're being shallow. Um, Women are more than just their looks. Where is the pushback here? Where are people saying, okay, men that are saying these things and that they aren't attractive, okay, cool. What now? What now? Where's the outcry for men saying, hey, that's being shallow, right? That's being vapid. Men are more than just their looks. We don't have any of that because we're in this state of age where it's very normal to talk about men in a derogatory sense, in a hateful sense, in a misandrist, with misandry. That's just what it is now. So why is this important? Because men hear this and they just continue to push out and check out. That's it. And it's not just the older ones, 30, 40, 50s. It's the younger crowd saying, okay, you've got more of people, a response to this is like looks maxing. The young kids are trying to find a way to be as handsome as possible. But it's not in the sense that it's for the betterment of relationships. It's just like this is how we're more focused on. First it was pictures on social media, now it's videos on social media. So your looks are ever present, ever more important. And that if that's being put in the forefront, we all have to understand, traditionally speaking, genetically speaking, women are always going to be more attractive than men. If you want that to be the new thing, the new compounding thing on top of the list of things that a man has to be in order for him to be acceptable as a potential partner, your pool just shrank by, I don't know, it's probably the most stringent thing that we have yet, being height, being income. Now he has to be attractive to your standard. Again, a man has to be the best of us, right? The Batman, the Bruce Wayne, the Superman, the Clark Kent, to be considered for just about average to beautiful women. All right. Again, we don't shame people for what they want here. We just say, you can point out when this is going to make things more and more difficult, not just for you, right? Because rhetoric like this spreads very quickly through the generations, right? Down and across, where now this is going to become the standard thing. If it's already embarrassing to have a boyfriend, have a husband, imagine what it is to have an average looking or below average looking husband. Doesn't matter that he's a provider, doesn't matter that he's a good man. He's just not there in the looks department. When this becomes the norm, how many people will leave marriages because he's just not as attractive as you would hope him to be? Listen, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. If you see a video on your screen right now, take a look at those. Let me know what you think about those as well. If you listen to some of my voice right now after my 10-minute rant, you haven't subscribed. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I think you like what you see here. Let me know. See you guys in the next one.